A lot of people are tired but wired, and they just can't stop thinking, especially before bed. So this product here contains a lot of herbs that can help increase your resistance to stress. We are riddled with anxiety these days. Our stress levels are so high, and it's like this chronic load of stress. It just seems like it's never ending for most people, and that ultimately leads to a lot of anxiety. We have anxiety over our jobs, we have anxiety over relationships, we have anxiety over just anything really. And so I'm gonna break down like some of the ways that you can manage anxiety. Now, I'm not gonna get into the whole traditional, you gotta journal, you gotta do breath work, you gotta meditate. Yes, you 100% should be doing those things. But a lot of us are experiencing anxiety in a place where we can't do that. We're at our desk working, or we're in the middle of a conversation. It might not be the most easiest for us to just stop and begin meditating or taking deep breaths. So in moments like that, let's talk about supplementation that we can use to help manage that anxiety as fast as possible. So I won't go too in depth on the physiology of anxiety, but a simple way that I'll put it is anxiety is an overproduction of stress hormones that is resulting from either poor clearance, so we talk about liver health in that case, or cell membrane issues. What I mean by that is the membrane becomes gunked up and it becomes cortisol resistant. You may have heard of insulin resistance, while there's also cortisol resistance. We can also look at things like genetics, which can be heavily influenced by your environment. And in regards to when it comes to anxiety, you have a gene known as COMT, that is your catechol-methyltransferase. That gene is responsible for flushing out your catecholamines. So things like adrenaline. And when you're someone who has been suffering from chronic stress and you're reaching like adrenal fatigue, you tend to use more adrenaline. And with a slow COMT gene, that stays in your system longer, giving you anxiety. We could also have higher levels of cortisol binding globulin. You may have heard of sex hormone binding globulin. Well, you also have CBG, and high levels of this will hold on to cortisol, so then you need more to respond to stressful situations. So when we accompany all this together, we need to produce more cortisol to respond to a stressor. So for simplicity's sake, let's say in a very healthy individual, you only needed 10 units of cortisol to respond to a stress. Well, now you need like 1,000. So you're getting this overproduction, and over a long period of time, that results in things like adrenal fatigue. You get that tired but wired feeling. So we have low neurotransmitters but high cortisol. So when it comes to people with anxiety, you're like, I don't care about the physiology, just give me the pill. So let's talk about that. So first things first, like the number one thing when dealing with any sort of health complication is we got to look at magnesium bisglycinate. It's very good for calming the central nervous system. Plus, it's just known for a whole array of benefits. And because we are so stressed out, we deplete the hell out of magnesium. So make sure to supplement magnesium no matter who you are. You cannot get enough of it in your diet. And then we can look at something like theanine. Many people are familiar with theanine. It helps promote GABA, which is your calming neurotransmitter. And theanine can lower cortisol levels, but it shouldn't make you drowsy. But if it does make you drowsy, that's kind of just showing like how fatigued your adrenals may be. You can also look at something like NuSera from Metagenics that also produces GABA to help calm you down. So there's a company called Nutridyne, and they have a line called Stress Essentials. And these are very good for managing anxiety, just overall stress. And I do have an account with them, so reach out and I can hook you up with a discount. But I'm gonna start with Stress Essentials Serenity. A lot of people are tired but wired, and they just can't stop thinking, especially before bed. Like their brains are just constantly going. So this product here contains a lot of herbs that can help increase your resistance to stress, can also help decrease inflammation that is caused by stress, and help balance blood sugar levels better, because high glucose can also lead to anxiety. So this one just helps calm down that nervous energy. So this would be great before bed for those who have trouble calming down. And next would be Stress Essentials Relax. This one is for like those ADHD minds. This is gonna help lower glutamate, which is an excitatory neurotransmitter. And then we have Stress Essentials Cortisol Pro. This one in general just helps lower cortisol along with free cortisol, helps you metabolize it better. So if you're someone that's been dealing with like a high load of stress, you can take this frequently throughout the day to help lower that cortisol. But if you're also someone who wakes up in the middle of the night and has trouble falling back to sleep, this is another great product to help you fall back asleep and get a better rest. And then for like a broad spectrum one, we have Stress Essentials Balance. And this one contains adaptogens that help once again increase your resistance to stress and just overall nourishes the adrenals. So when it comes to anxiety, those are probably my go-tos. Now, obviously you can see as I explain them, it could be specific to the individual. So if you feel you fit some of those symptoms mentioned, then I would go for one, but it doesn't hurt to do more than one. But remember, your health will dictate how well you can handle stress. So don't rely on these supplements long-term. Use them acutely to get into a better place and address your health complications to improve your overall ability to manage stress. Because I always say stress is inevitable. You will never get away from it, but we can dictate how we manage it. But let's also not forget that stress is a nutrient depleting response. So some other nutrients you may want to consider that get depleted heavily when stressed are things like zinc, magnesium, vitamin C, vitamin E, and a lot of B vitamins. But make sure to meditate, do your breathing exercises, stay positive, eat well, and exercise, but don't exercise too much.